because I'm going to put on my happy face now, and we're going to start from the top, and we're going to pretend like none of that ever happened. We're going to be the good men that we are and take those emotions that we have, those feelings of frustration and anger, and we're just going to push them back down inside. And put a smile on our face. Here we go. Ghetto clapboard. Take two. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's me, T-Bone, from the LUNSB Show with T-Bone and Chick Brew. It's Sunday. It's 10:30. It's time for the Supplemental. The Supplemental comes to you every week, and during the Supplemental, we do three things. We talk about your national days of the week. We tell you about a comedy, a charity, or a community event that we want to highlight, and we wrap it all up with This Week in History, a trivia style. I am looking at the wrong camera. I am aware. But you know what? Sometimes looking at the right camera is just as weird. So there'll be a mixture of this and this. Let's get started with your national days of the week. There is a new version out there of ChatGPT, a new update, and it's slow to respond, but at the same time, it's giving better answers. So it not only has it given me the thing, it gave me more things to go with the thing. Normally, I go down the list of the national days of the week, and I pick something at random. Then I started using ChatGPT, and I said, ChatGPT, give me some options. And then I didn't like the options, like choose something wackier, and it would choose something wackier. So it gives me 4 options every week. That here's what I do. I scroll down, I look at the day, I look at the options, I pick one, and then off the top, I just go with whatever I think may make you laugh. Whatever instant humor I could come up with is what I've done. Well, now ChatGPT is like, I can do more. Okay, if you can do more, what can you do? Well, I can give you a Radio Redley show bit. It's funny and fact sprinkled, so you can drop them straight in. It's working me out of a job. Monday, August the 11th, as an example, this is what ChatGPT wrote for me. Today is play in the sand day, whether it's the beach, a sandbox, or that pile the cat keeps going in. Just remember, sand gets everywhere. Everywhere. That was brought to you by ChatGPT. Me, if I were going to say today is National Play in the Sand Day, I'm going to remind you that I used to live on the beach, and I love the beach. But before I lived on the beach, 2 blocks away, before I lived on the beach, I lived far from the beach, and you had to go out of your way to go to the beach. And when you go to the beach, you see people doing strange things in the sand, like digging holes and burying their loved ones all the way up to the head. I would never let somebody bury me in sand, because I have always believed that quicksand is BS, that quicksand doesn't exist, at least in the way that it was always brought to our attention. Quicksand, reference number 1 in my brain immediately, Gomer Pyle. It was a toss-up between the truth and a better answer. The truth is, it was an episode of Gomer Pyle, USMC, where they got stuck in quicksand, and that one stuck with me. The better answer would have been Blazing Saddles. Horses, don't get in horses, send a couple. What a fantastic movie. So it is August the 11th, National Play in the Sand Day. And if you're going to play in the sand, make sure it ain't quick. And have an escape plan. Don't let somebody bury you up to your neck if your body's down in and the tide's rolling in, because you're talking about a cement mixture. You're just missing the rocks. You don't want to do that. That's bad. Okay. Moving on. See how nicely I recovered? How bad it was and how nicely I recovered? All right, here are my 4 options. I am going to read the ChatGPT version, and then I'm going to give you what I would have done for that day. Tuesday, August the 12th, it's National Milkman Day. Oh yeah. I'm going to read it from the ChatGPT script. Milkman Day, remembering when milk came in glass bottles to your door and you could leave cookies out, just in case. I get it. The computer thought that was funny. I don't. My favorite milkman of all times is Dave Chappelle. You would need to be a Dave Chappelle show, the Chappelle Show connoisseur. You would need to be a connoisseur of the Chappelle Show to know the skit where he is the milkman delivering milk to his favorite family. That is 2 days this week where that word is mentioned. It's toyed with. It is not said. The name of my comedy special I've always thought about it would be, yes, I said it, but not in a bad way. There's more to the story. I'm not going to share it with you. You'll have to catch me outside. National Milkman Day, that's August the 12th, which this year falls on a Tuesday. I'm not reading your comments because your comments are upsetting me. So I may glance at them, but and that's harder to do than you may think. I am looking for a day today. Only because I know so many of them. Here we go. Wednesday, August the 13th, it's National Left-Handers Day, honoring 10% of the population who have to deal with right-handed scissors and smudged notebooks. Tony's version. Wednesday, August the 13th, it's National Left-Handers Day. How do you know when someone is left-handed? The same way you know if they do CrossFit or if they're vegan. They tell you. And this whole hemisphere of the brain thing where lefties are just more artsy and righties are more not artsy. And like in the Italian tradition of being left-handed is bad. Okay, you're not supposed to be left-handed. Left, sinistra, sinister. If you're writing with your left hand, you are evil. Most of the artists were left-handed. Most of the comedy people I know, at least the talented ones, are left-handed because they're artsy, okay? They do music and books and paintings and movies. They are left-handed people. But there's a limited number of them going around. The rest of us in this world are right-hand dominant. If you don't like that, well, tough. Because if your parents were any good, they would have did what my dad did and beat the left-handed out of my brother. It's okay that he beat the left-handed out of him because he's not artsy. And I don't think he was predisposed to being artsy because his brain wanted him to be left-handed, and my father said otherwise. No sinistra aquí. Mixing Spanish and Italian together. Yeah. So he beat the left-handed out of him, but the artsy never came. There it is. Wednesday, August 13th, National Left-Handers Day. So what do you prefer? You prefer the ChatGPT version or you prefer my version? There's only one correct answer. Yeah, why not? It's not going to be around forever. Here we go. From the ChatGPT script, Social Security Day. A reminder that retirement is closer than you think. Unless you're still paying off your student loans. Oh, ChatGPT, so funny. Oh. Or my version. Thursday, August 14th, it's National Social Security Day. And many of you will never experience the joys of Social Security. Many of you, I mean, it's not going to be there. It's going to be gone. It's in a lock box. They used to tell us the Social Security lock box was where all the money was hidden for Social Security. Make sure that the government couldn't steal the Social Security money. They put it in a locked box. Look it up. True story. They called it the Social Security lockbox. But there was never any such thing. It was just hyperbole. It goes in the general fund. And they spend the money they take out of your check in addition to the money they already take out of your check, and in addition to the other money that they take out of your check, and they all put it into one thing, and they all use it as a re-enlistment funds, or not re-enlistment. What do they do? Re-election funds. It's all about buying your vote with your money. So, yeah, I don't know a lot about Social Security. I think you got to be 85 now to start collecting. You pay into it from your first day of legal work. From your first day of legal work, you pay into your Social Security. So I have been contributing to my Social Security for a very, very long time. I do not expect to ever see a dime from Social Security because they're going to, the future is they're not going to let it run out because, it's the government. But they are going to, means test it. Like, if you still have two legs, well, you don't need Social Security. There are so many people in this country on Social Security who should not be on Social Security. Able-bodied men and women who have self-diagnosed their emotional issues to be non-functional members of society. That's where the cuts need to be, right then and there. And if you make it to 89 or 90 or whatever the new age is going to be for collecting Social Security, there shouldn't be any freaking strings attached. It should be without taxes because you paid your taxes, and the government should give you a little check. Now, that's not. Social Security is not meant to be a form of retirement. It's meant to be a little sustainment. You give us money your entire life, and at the end, we'll make sure you can buy some ramen. And not the good ramen either, like the 19 cents per package ramen that you buy in bulk and can sustain life for extended periods of time. That's Thursday, August 14th, National Social Security Day. Moving on. Oh, yes, here we go. ChatGPT version. Kool-Aid Day. Celebrating the drink mix that fueled childhood sugar highs and gave us that giant smiling pitcher who crashes through walls. Or my version. Friday, August 15th is National Kool-Aid Day. Oh, yeah. Did you ever think that Kool-Aid was voiced by Randy Macho Man Savage? Oh, yeah. No, apparently it wasn't. I felt it. I felt the difference in trying to do those two voices. ChatGPT thinks Kool-Aid filled your sugar-fueled dreams of the childhood. Not true. Kool-Aid was for people too poor to afford sugar. Kool-Aid could have just been dye. You want some water? I don't want any water. You want some red-colored water? Yes, please. This water doesn't taste good. Here's a gram of sugar. A single grain. Here, bloop. There you go. That was, because Kool-Aid was unsugared, and you had to add your sugar. Now, granted, that allowed you the ability to add sugar if you could afford sugar. Even when the government was giving out government cheese, they didn't give out sugar. And recently, they've started pulling back on sugar snacks for those people who got the EBTs. They got the EBITs. They're pulling back on the sugar snacks, and the reactions are priceless. No, my sugar-filled treats were not Kool-Aid. This is a straight-up ghetto check, man. Tahitian treat. Tahitian treat was the opposite of Kool-Aid. Kool-Aid was poor people making colored water. Tahitian treat was the sugarcane industry trying to get you hooked on pure sugar. Tahitian treat, do they still sell it? If they do, go to Martin Luther King Avenue in your city, because that's where you'll find it. Get you some ice cold Tahitian treat. Take a shot of that bad boy. Woo, man, that was like preschool crack. This was crack for, like, if the drug dealers didn't want to sell you crack because you were a child, even though you may have had money, they said, no, kid, go get some Tahitian treat. You'll be fine. Because they knew Tahitian treat was a gateway drug. Tahitian treat was going to give you just enough of the need for sugar. That, that's why crack looks like sugar. Friday, that's Friday, August 15th. National Kool-Aid Day. Yeah, sweet tea was the same. Like, tea. Tea's the same way. It would color your water, but you add sugar to it and put it out in the sun. Sun-brewed tea. Wait, you mean just make the water hot using sunlight? It's sun-brewed. I hate coming up with something I think is funny after I close out the day, because I'm not going to go back and chop that up and add it back. So again, as a member of the live audience, you get to see me have a mental breakdown. You get to see me on the verge of tears. You get to see me almost quit. And you get to see extra content that future viewers do not get to see. So thank you. And you're welcome. Saturday, August 16th. ChatGPT says, roller coaster day. Celebrating the thrill rides that make you scream, laugh, and question the funnel cake you ate. Oh, ChatGPT, you're so funny. Tebow's version. Saturday, August 16th, it's National Roller Coaster Day. And if you can't hear the word roller coaster without hearing a love, roller coaster, a love, then you probably shouldn't be listening to me. Because every time I hear the word roller coaster, a love, your love is like a roller coaster, baby, baby. I don't like them. I'm a big wussy. I admit it. I was afraid of roller coasters. So I don't get on anything that, all right, woo, no. Old school wood, like the Cyclone, yeah. Which, honestly, the Cyclone is probably one of the scariest roller coasters you will ever go on. The one there in Coney Island, it's 1,000 years old, and all the wood is brittle, and it's going to crash one day while people are on it. And that's what makes it scary, because that day could be today. But give me a good wood roller coaster. I'm good. Wee up and down, wee curve, wee up and down. Give me circle, death, up, down, back around. No, I don't do those. But then again, I do. If I am equally susceptible to peer pressure. I was. Let's rephrase that. Maybe my weight is my anti-roller coaster defense. Because I'm too big to get on roller coaster anymore. They try to put it on. Nope, it's not happening. So many fat people have tried to get on roller coasters that they've now come up. You know, there's the sign says you must be this tall to ride the roller coaster. And now they got an extra little chair you have to sit in. It's like, if your fat self can't fit in this chair, no matter how hard you try, you can't get on the roller coaster. They have to put those in place now to prevent fat people who know better. You know better. You're not, no. You can't waddle around the park and think you can get on a roller coaster. It's not meant for you, baby. I'm sorry, okay? You're too fat. Somebody's got to tell you the truth. You're too fat for roller coasters. I am too fat for roller coasters. But before I got to where I am, I didn't like them. They scared me. But I did multiple times allow peer pressure to get the best of me. When I was in Gardaland, the weekend of Princess Diana's death, I was young and svelte. I was the chaperone for an MWR trip with a bunch of kids. We were at Gardaland, and they got the... And the kids got on the ride, and like, come on, Mr. Tony, get on the ride. And I'm like, no, Mr. Tony doesn't do rides. And they're like, yeah, let's do it. And I said, okay. And I did. I did all the rides. It's not discrimination. It's physics, Robert. The next and last time I went on a bunch of loop-de-loopy, swingy, woo-woo roller coasters was Six Flags over St. Louis. I'm there with a bunch of alpha males, let's just call them. I'm there with a bunch of people who don't take no for an answer. I, at the time, was one of those people. And we went there, and I thought I was just going to hang out and eat some funnel cake. But no, my group wanted to go on all the rides. And I'm with my group, and what am I going to say? I'll hold your purses? There were no purses. They were all dudes. And I went on all the rides. And I had a good time. You know, you get all worked up. But you get on the ride, you go. The ride of all rides that I hate the most, without a doubt, for all of time, is the zipper. I hate that ride. So I'll take a loop-de-loop roller coaster any day over the zipper. I'll take a wooden roller coaster over a loop-de-loopy. And I'll take being fat and avoid the shame of being punked at an amusement park. That is Saturday, August the 16th. National Roller Coaster Day. Not a lot of good selections here. Let's do the best we can. ChatGPT says Thrift Shop Day. Wow, there's a whole bunch of people over there that joined and immediately left. I don't blame them. Sunday, August 17th. It's National Thrift Shop Day, where you find treasures, oddities, and occasionally a shirt that smells like 1983. I don't know why I am starting to slip into an NPR voice when I read the ChatGPT version. It just feels appropriate. And here's my version. Sunday, August 17th, it's National Thrift Shop Day. Me personally, huge contributor to national thrift shops. Or thrift shops, not necessarily national. I buy good clothes, and I wear them until I can't fit in them anymore. And then I would like to see them repurposed for something other than a landfill. Like I would love to see somebody, I paid $100 for the item, and you can buy it for $3. It's clean. It fits you. You should be happy. There are people who go to thrift shops and they really enjoy it. I don't. I occasionally find myself in thrift shops, usually like the Navy Marine Corps Relief thrift shop, that one, the on base one. I'll go there and I'll peruse. And occasionally, especially, when you're active duty, there's a lot of uniform components that we pay a lot of money for. Yes, we get paid to buy our uniforms, but that money is better spent on hookers and beer. Here's the expectation from the government. Here you go, young man. Here is a bunch of money to buy your uniform items throughout the year. Now, don't you go spending that on anything other than uniform items, okay? And, you're like, sure, yeah, okay. A chug-a-lug, chug-a-lug. That is never a good idea. But if you go to the thrift store, other people who have been there before you and understand uniforms cost money, and there's really not a market for them outside of the military. And even that has a shelf life because we go through so many uniforms these days because we got nothing better to do than think about fabrics. So you donate your uniforms to the thrift store, and then your young sailors who spent all their uniform money on beer and hookers can then buy cheap uniform items that, for the most part, fit. Yeah, and they're used. They're used. We can't do blow in the military, Robert. That's why I didn't use that word. But normally I would use hookers and blow. Yeah, but that is a Sunday, August the 17th, National Thrift Shop Day. And that concludes this week's Days of the Week. Now, we have been telling you for a while now that there's a lot of things going on. The big comedy event that I had been promoting for weeks on end finished up last night, Harrisburg's Hilarious Competition. Congratulations to Bam Jacobs for taking the title in 2025. It was a great time. It's the third year that they've done it. Lennon Free, Andrew Glessner did a fantastic job running everything. I really appreciate them allowing me to help. It was a fantastic time. It was a great time, and we sold that place out last night, and that was happy. So yeah, we'll do that again next year, and hopefully I'll be around to help support it in any way that I can. So super awesome shout outs to Lennon Free and Andrew Glessner, also to Bam Jacobs and the other finalists in the Harrisburg's Hilarious Competition. As a general note, I will say, if you live in a town that has a comedy club, and you probably do, or you have one nearby, find them on Facebook. Like, follow, share, whatever you need to do to get updates from them, because every once in a while, shows pop up that no one knows about. Sometimes with big-name people. They just show up. And you could be in on this faster than I can tell you. Sorry about that. Faster than I can tell you. So, sorry, I'm burping like mad right now, all of a sudden. Yeah, you got that going on. We also still have the big cash raffle, animals-r-us.org. It's too late to get in on the early bird drawing, but basically what's happening, it's a cash raffle. There's only 3,500 tickets being sold. Out of those 3,500 tickets, the number one cash prize is $15,000, then $5,000, then $3,000. Animals-r-us.org with hyphens in between R and us. They are collecting this money to give to a variety of animal welfare and rescue charities in and around the greater Harrisburg metropolitan area. Tickets are $25 a piece, or the discounted $5 for $100. And you can find more details, animals-r-us.org, hyphen in between animals, R, and us. And then the dot before org. And that's your comedy and community note for this week. Now, let's get on with the fan favorite portion of the show, and the point where I am going to have to start looking at your comments again. Get ready to get them in, okay? I need you to be on your toes today. I told ChatGPT it was a little too easy on us last week, that the questions were a little too easy, even though none of us went 7 for 7. But like, it was a question, and the answer to the question was in the question, and no one likes that. So here we go. Wrapped it up just a little bit. Let's see how we do. On August the 4th, 1914, which crucial diplomatic step changed Britain's posture and pushed it into World War I? August 4th, 1914, which crucial diplomatic step changed Britain's posture and pushed it into World War I? There's quite lengthy options here. Option A, Britain issued a declaration of war on Austria-Hungary. B, Britain delivered an ultimatum demanding Germany withdraw troops from Belgium, and when the deadline passed, declared war on Germany. C, Britain signed a secret alliance with Russia, committing forces to the Balkans. Or D, Britain annexed Luxembourg to secure its western flank. Which crucial diplomatic step changed Britain's posture and pushed it into World War I? Having considered my options carefully, I believe the only one that is a diplomatic step Yep, I see the answers popping in. James says B, Jesse says B, Jess says B, and Robert says B, and I agree. I think it's B. I think that's the only one that's a diplomatic step. So, all right, good job on getting your questions in, your answers in a timely fashion. August the 5th, which future astronaut, the first person to walk on the moon, was born on August the 5th? Was it Buzz Aldrin, Alan Shepard, Neil Armstrong, or Michael Collins? Those are your options. He was born on August the 5th, and he was the first person to walk on the moon. I had some fun recently at Michael Collins' expense. I can tell you it is not Michael Collins. I just think it's funny that Michael Collins went on a road trip with two of his buddies, 250,000 miles away, and then came back 250,000 miles and was never allowed to get out of the car. James pops in with Neil Armstrong. I thought he wrote Buzz Armstrong. I thought that would be hilarious. Everyone is saying Armstrong, and you are all correct. It is Neil Armstrong. August 6, 1945, the United States dropped the atomic bomb nicknamed Little Boy. What U.S. aircraft dropped it? I'm going to pause for a second and not give you the multiple choice answers to see if any of you are so smart you could tell me what the answer is without the multiple choice options. August 6, 1945, the United States drops the first atomic weapon on Japan. The bomb was named Little Boy. What aircraft dropped it? There he is, Mr. Taney. Knows that it's gay. Here are your options. Was it a B-17 Flying Fortress known as the Memphis Belle? Was it a B-29 Super Fortress known as the Enola Gay? Was it a B-24 Liberator named Lady Be Good? Oh, of course. Robert saying B-52, not even an option. The final option was a B-25 Mitchell named the Lady in the Lake. No sense of government should be no position of government should be given to betrothed upon a man by a sword from a watery tart. That's the only thing I can remember. So James says the Enola Gay. Jessica says the Enola Gay. Robert says B-52. Wrong. My kids have seen it all. It's at Dulles Annex, and it's cool. It is the Enola Gay. Olga, question number 4. The Allied landing on Guadalcanal, a pivotal offensive battle in the Pacific, began on August 7th of what year? You're keeping your own score, Robert. Okay? So if you want to put in the Enola Gay and you want to get credit for Enola Gay, that's on you. If you put an asterisk next to it, that's on me. The Allied landing on Guadalcanal, a pivotal early offensive, that's a clue there. A pivotal early offensive in the Pacific began on August the 7th of which year? Was it 1941? Was it August 7th, 1941? 1942? 1943? Or 1944? You know how I feel about these things. If you've got a multiple choice answer and there are numbers, the easiest thing to do is number 1, take away the highest and take away the lowest. That gets rid of 1944 and that gets rid of 1941. I know it's not 1941 because it's August the 7th. And that means we were attacking the Japanese at Guadalcanal before they attacked us on Pearl Harbor on December 7th of that year. Jessica pops in with 42. James pops in with 42. I am also going to say 42. And Robert went with 42. Take the high, take the low, and drop them. Yes. And the wording, a pivotal early invasion in the Pacific. So we're all saying 42. I think we're all right. We will all most assuredly hang together if we are wrong. Question number 5 of 7. On August 8, 1974, President Richard Nixon delivered a televised address and said he would do what? What did Tricky Dick do? My dad loved doing Richard Nixon impressions. August 8, 1974, President Richard Nixon delivered a televised address in which he said he would do what? You know what? He's been dead longer than most of you have been alive, okay? So if you don't like my impression, you don't know. I'm not a crook. That is correct. That was his favorite statement. So it's August 8th, 1974. I am not a cook. James pops in with resigns over the Watergate scandal. Robert also says resign. I'm sure Jess is typing resign as we speak. Yes, at the here are your multiple choice options I forgot to give you. Announce a Supreme Court nominee. That would have been fun. Throw you off. Resign the presidency. Declare nationwide martial law or commute all federal sentences related to Watergate. He didn't do that either. Crazy thing there's a lot of crazy things about how that all went down. But yes, resign, she says. And yes, he resigned. He resigned for something in modern day context was incredibly insignificant compared to the happenings of recent history. What Richard Milhouse Nixon did was nothing in comparison to what is happening these days. But he was a man of honor. His most famous phrase that people, his best quote that most people don't know is, "You won't have Richard Nixon to kick around anymore." He said that about himself in third person. I think that's hilarious. Question number 6. On August 9th, 1945, a second bomb was dropped on Japan. What was its code name? What was the code name of the second and last bomb? So, we told everybody, y'all need to, stop messing around. got some new technology out there. We're about to change things. And they're like, yeah, no, you didn't. So we drop leaflets like, we're coming, you need to leave. And people are like, nah, we're going to stay. And then we dropped the first one. Big deal. And we said, now you see what we just did, right? Don't make us do that again. You need to just go ahead and quit. They're like, no, we're good. Okay. So they dropped the second one. And then they said, once again, y'all need to stop or we're going to do this until there are no more cities on this island. And they said, okay, we quit. What they didn't know, we didn't have any more bombs. Those were the only 2 bombs we had. USS Indianapolis, it got sunk on the way back from delivering the important parts. A lot of things going on here. There were 2 bombs. Finally, a cat dog was a funny answer. I saw it when it came in. I didn't say anything. James answers with big boy before the multiple choice answers are given. So let's find out what the other multiple choice options were. Fat man, thin man, big boy, or little boy 2. Little boy, and James goes with big boy. I, being one with myself, I believe it was fat man. Got a couple other people out there answering. We're going to give you a chance. That's question number 6 before we go on to question number 7. What was the name of the bomb that we dropped on Nagasaki? What was its code name? Robert is going to go with big boy. Big boy. Jessica is going along with me and says fat man. This is where the road divides. We will find out soon. Your answers are locked in. Don't even think about Googling something right now and changing. August 10th, 1776. Which piece of news reached London that signaled an irreversible change in the American colonies? On August 10th, 1776, which piece of news reached London signaling an irreversible change in the American colonies? I don't know. What could have been happening in 1776 America? What could be happening? Anything? Anything sticking out? Maybe, July 4th? But, the mail system, the ability to get mail from one place to another is in its earliest infancies. It takes time to send ravens in 1776. So I already know what my answer is. Here are the multiple choice options. A, the American forces had captured Quebec. B, that the Continental Congress had drafted the Declaration of Independence. C, that the British fleet had been destroyed in New York Harbor. Or D, that Benedict Arnold had defected to the British. Robert pops in with Independence of America. James pops in with Declaration of Independence. So the Continental Congress drafted the Declaration of Independence. The news was slower than I thought. This isn't even the signed version. This is a drafted version. But I'm going to go with that. I believe it had something directly tied to the Declaration of Independence. So my answer is also going to be B. Jess, you got an answer for us? Hello, people out there. Who's out there? Too many names. I can't see. I can see, but I can't. Oh, lost them. This is where I got to move the puzzle piece in order to keep going on TikTok. It's always funny. I did it. Jessica's going with the deck. The deck of independence. So that's everything. Let's find out how we did. And I hope you understand from the meltdown I was having at the beginning of this show to where I am right now. Can you see a drastic change? Because I was at wit's end. I really considered tapping out. Answers, please. Spelled wrong. Every week we go in and we try to answer 7 history questions or history-related questions. And we do that as a group. We have a good time doing it. Here are the answers for this week's questions. Question number 1, Britain gave Germany the ultimatum to withdraw from Belgium and, when ignored, declared war on August the 1st, 1914. So, right off the bat, we all got it wrong. None of us can go 7 for 7 this week because we got the first one wrong. That was a hard question, though. Question number 2, of course, was Neil Armstrong. Question number 3 was the Enola Gay that dropped Little Boy on Hiroshima. Question number 4, Guadalcanal happened in 1942. Question number 5, Nixon announced his resignation. Question number 6, it was Fat Man, not Big Boy, that we dropped on Nagasaki. And question number 7, news of the Declaration of Independence reached London. That's it. It's a good time. Thanks for helping me turn it around. I was at my wit's end. I was losing my mind. And I do enjoy doing this. It's just sometimes I let frustration get the better of me. Ladies and gentlemen, I remind you today as I remind you every day, just be the best person that you can be. And if you were a great person today, be an even better person tomorrow. Chick Brew sends her love. A new episode of the LUNSB Show is going to be recorded soon. But I may need a co-host because she's doing reindeer game stuff. Maybe. We'll find out. In the meantime, in between time, stay safe, everybody.